Catch Amirul. Sent it back their attacking direction. As Vitualia sent this one out, but he sent his apologies for that. He definitely had something better in mind. But it will continue to stay with the Gentle Giants in this game. There's some there's confirmation again on the subs that we just saw right before the halftime whistle. It was Togashi, in fact, who came on for Kore. Interesting with the way Kore's been able or was able to dictate play in the game. Long throw from Lucero. We saw something like this actually in the first half. Still up to go to the right wing. This time, it's an early ball or cross. Chimozoka had the chance to get it, but Semblante was there and was brave, but they give up a corner kick. Let's look again. There's the early cross from Lucero. I'm not so sure if Abusi really got it. If he did, though, it was definitely not the best of touches because of the defense. But it's a corner kick again for Cebu. Only one player of Loyola waiting at the half line. Samorano Hoatam forced Akira to punch it out, but it's with Kainoa Bailey. Bailey floating it into the box. The defensive header dito mula kay Morimoto. And there was Burnett who triggered this now. Kurt Dizon took a bit of a bump. Zamorano Hoatam was charged with a foul there. Pavone resumed this from the back. Vitualia. Kurt Dizon. Kainwa Bailey over to Kaja Mirul. But it was sent back here to Kobayashi. Now here's a whistle that will go the way of the Gentle Giants, though. And it will continue now. We've seen Cebu try to dictate things from the get-go. Teams definitely got to feel the other out already in the early stages of the contest. Anderson give it to the other side. Pinto and Burnett connecting. Burnett just getting through now. Would he blow by the defense? 1-4. He takes a shot here. Off the post though. Oteros Papu Corsame with the desperate sliding tackle. A close one. Well, Burnett just stormed through. There was the fall from Papu. Cebu's defense desperately trying to come up with something. But Derek left ball watching. Maybe he thought it was out of it or on the way out already. And Papu desperately just came up there to come up with a stop and take it away from the boots of Pinto. But it's Pinto or Pavone with the corner again for Loyola. Let's see now how Loyola will execute. As it seemed to be unideal there. Hoatam to chase this down versus Burnett. And it will go the way of the Gentle Giants. Seems there's another ball on the pitch. go back again. The way this game has been going, we assess the form of the last of our teams. Cebu is coming off that grinded out win over a much improved Maharlika Taguig squad. That was 1-0 when we refer to local play. Hasiros a shot at the bottom corner. Abusi picked it up, cut it back. Kainoa Bailey, but it's flagged offside there to their disbelief. And the fans of Loyola, of course, loving that. They were so close when we refer to Cebu's scoring. But while Bailey found the back of the net, the linesman waved it off. It was looking good there though, but as we've said, Loyola's fans applauding that. But as a football, or if you're a fan, of course, you do not want things to get that close. As this was tipped over the bar this time around by Semblante. Abusi got it on target. You could see Abusi signaling to the shoulder. Could we speculate that that is where Semblante landed? Oh no, not the case though. Unless there's a recurring injury here. But Loyola does not have any other sub-goalkeepers, as we've said. There's no Blanco. There's no Matt Silva. There are 2 of the 4 players listed as not playing this afternoon at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. But according to Loyola staff, they did mention that these 4 players are recovering from injuries. That's a great number of injuries if you ask me. As the time will continue to tick here, Jesse Semblante understandably getting some extra medical attention. In an instance like this, if it was a field player, you'd have to step off the pitch, but understandable because the goalkeeper role is a specialized position. But this was the save earlier at the bottom corner, and the goal here was eventually flagged offside by our referee or display. And then afterwards, they were trying to come up with this. Abusi got it on target. Semblante just tipped it over the bar. I believe Kainoa Bailey wanted better there though. And with play resuming, this corner kick went to the back post with no friendly there. If you were Cebu, but Loyola had that covered as they get this fouled out to go their way. Just 9 minutes in already, and the stakes are high. We could also see that former Loyola player, Thiago Hector, is present here. He also made his way to Loyola's fan group Frente, just to give a quick hello. Hector did play center back last PFL, as we've said. But this one here could not be secured by Morimoto. And the back line in Badelic secured. No clean sheets will be awarded today. But earlier we did mention who the leading scorers are per team. Or we mentioned or ran through some of the statistics. If we run through the Liga as a whole, Saikuba Sise continues to be our top scorer this competition with 7 goals. And then in second place actually, the Shuto Komaki of Kaya and Rico Andes of Loyola. Bailey to Lucero, cut it back. Well, Loyola get the denial. In the assists category, there's a 3-way tie between Kaito Myland, who's on the bench for Cebu, and Usman Guy of Manila Digger, and Park Yi-young of Kai FC Iloilo. The 3 we mentioned have 3 assists each so far in this season. But this one was whipped in long again. And it seems Cebu staff, of course, unhappy with that. 2 straight corners where they did not get to execute in an ideal manner. But here is Ryo Togashi who was cutting in. Lucero slid it over. Hoatam. Dinilik dito kay Lucero. Wanted to take it from distance, but Burnett got to stop. That's why it's a counter now. Numbers favor Loyola. Pinto. Hoatam back desperately to get the stop, and it's a whistle here as Hoatam gets booked. It will be a free kick from a promising spot here for the team in blue. If you're running at full speed, it's very easy to fall. That's gotta hurt, of course, on this turf in Rizal Memorial. That's why Mick John Pineda flashed out the yellow card to Hoatam. As we were running through the assists category, Kurt Dizon of Loyola has 2 already this season. Same goes for John Lucero. With clean sheets, June Baderic is the top goalkeeper in that aspect. He has 3 so far, but is in joint second place overall because right ahead of him is Yuya Horiyama of Manila Digger with 4. And Badelic shares second place with Roberto Liamas of Stalin Laguna, who is from, or who has El Salvador and United States citizenship. But this is a massive opportunity to retake the lead if you are Loyola FC. It's Ivan Oano stepping up to this. He has yet to score this season, but striker is his natural role. Will this be the time for him to regain his shooting boots and regain that scoring form? We will find out. Here comes the signal as Oano looks on. And Badelic got the stop, but the follow-up was off target by Kurt Dizon, just shy of the back post. We could see it actually. It was so close yet so far. We had a great angle to look at it, not just from where we were on the panel, but also with our cameras. Back to the action. Momentum has swung the way of Loyola. And with that, play will be resumed in the middle. Let's take a look at that there. As Pinto was adjudged to get clipped. Loyola did not opt to play it long here and build up instead. Amirul contra Pinto. Some holding on there. These guys having an exchange of words. Nagkasagutan sila doon. We could also remind people that that matchup between Taba and Morimoto has been put to an end as Taba was subbed off. Well, there was the holding and shoving, we could say, at the two. Having a not so friendly moment. But this is not a friendly after all. It is an official game in the Philippines Football League as Abu C tries to get past and scores right here. He knew it was going in already once he got past Semblante. As we've said, Abu C has proven to become that old reliable. Not old though, but maybe because of a veteran. But he's a reliable man here in the Philippines Football League. And a much needed boost for the Gentle Giants. Abu C bagging his third goal of the season. We might have to correct that in a bit, but let's just take a look here Technique and the work rate of Abu C did enough. He saw this already going in. He had the better angle. He was right behind the ball. After all, disappointment in the air if you are Loyola FC. But I did mention, and we'll have to double check the tally of Abu C so far this season. But here's his hard work paying off. It's 2-1 now. Abu C and Hoatam getting the goals for Cebu. Well, with my quick double check of our tally, Abu C may have 5 already as Kajamirul whipped this one in. Chima got to secure. Easy, of course. And obviously how a goal helps with your momentum. Amirul the cross. It was tentatively stopped. That's why Abu C was trying to capitalize once more. With Loyola trailing, the cheers continue here. You appreciate that, of course. The players gotta appreciate that. They're down, but not out, and they've got support. Build up now from Loyola. Takardon secured. Throw in taken quickly. It's eventually secured here by Alemão, or on the team sheet, he's referred to as Paredes Alexio. But there's a banger here. It's 2-2. And we mentioned earlier that support can go a long way, especially when you were down. That has definitely helped Loyola re-energize themselves in this game. Pinto putting up an effort here that will definitely be unforgettable. What more if they could bag a result? But is he suffering from cramps or anything? Well, let's take a look. He took one touch, blasted it past the back line, off the woodwork and in. While Pinto having to get stretched out for cramps. There you go again. But recall that there was the initiative, the quick throw in. Could feel the passion there with the goal. And with that, we're back on level terms. 4 goals so far in this game when we total it. Loyola down to 10 players temporarily. Kainua Bailey. His brother Zico plays for the men's national team, or the PMNT. Cebu trying to create an opening now as they swing it around side to side. With Abu C actually scoring as we did the recount, our apologies for the discrepancy in our records. He has 6 goals in this season. And we slept on him because of a slight error actually on our sheets. But as Cebu is trying to get more offense, they are set to bring in Gaito Milland. Milland and Zamorano Hoatam have become that 1-2 punch for Cebu. As they whip it in, Chima had some space. Defense was there to change it up. But Burnett again. He's been pulling strings in. Or pulling strings in the middle. Has that midfielder. But before we continue, we do have a change. But yes, Abu C with his 6th goal of the season. Our apologies for that error, actually, with our numbers.
Replaced by player number 7, Gaiton Marcus Mainland.
Abu C will look to carry this team on or push this team forward along with Kaito Milan. Samoran Hohotam was replaced in this game. But there's fresh legs. You could make the case here again. What if Cebu wants to carry on its bid? As we take a look at shots 4-3. 3 shots of Loyola paving way to 2 goals. 4 shots of Cebu paving way to 2. But just going back, as we were saying, Cebu will also need results here if they want to carry on or if they want to compete in the AFC again. And in this case, it's the AFC Champions League 2. The top tier, which is above the AFC Champions League 2, is the AFC Champions League Elite. That brings in a new format. There's no Filipino teams competing, as the competitions and slot allocation have been revamped. There was the stop. Let's try to send it back now, though. This was threatening Badelic as he had to come up and collect. Kobayashi, he did come in again as a sub in the early stages of the game. Cebu wanted a call there, but will still stay with them. But in a turn here, it will go the way of Loyola, to the delight of their fans. It was a different story when Loyola traveled to Cebu in the opening game of the 2 teams. Cebu did win, of course, with a one-sided scoreline with the home crowd cheering them on. With the Gentle Giants playing in Manila, they are facing the small contingent of Loyola fans. Semblante, back to Anderson. Anderson, Takardon, combinations now. And there was also the likes of Burnett getting involved, as Badelic got to clear this. He thought it was going to ping pong around, but Owano got it to Burnett. Burnett just slicing through a number of opponents. He was unsuccessful, though. Kainua Bailey getting this to Chima Ozaka. Keeper charging off. And it's mission accomplished here for Jesse Semblante. They'll slow it down, of course, their way. A bit of that fake. As the keeper, of course, they get to control the game a little more than usual. Takardon. Got to thread the needle here, but it was offside. And that offside was against Morimoto. You see the gamesmanship and time management kicking in already. But from Loyola, it seems, Shima, it was poked away. Well, here was Pinto. He took a fall. He was hit from behind. From what I initially saw, it happened all quickly. But with that, it will be a chance for Loyola to roll the dice. Forasuelo also bringing a trick out of the book. Pinto showing us his technical ability. Kurt Dizon. Kurt Dizon very experienced again as he's played in international or AFC club competitions to add to his national team caps. Eros Burnett, who we mentioned, has controlled this game in the Loyola aspect. He's been the man pulling strings for them in the midfield. John Lucero has Takardon on him. Papo playing it over the top of Chima Ozoka. Ozoka versus Forasuelo. Si Chima nagmamadali pero walang kakampi. But this one will roll out for a corner kick to CFC. We do see Cebu bringing up its center backs in hopes of utilizing a ceiling advantage. We are nearing the 73rd minute already of this game, and you're catching this one on matchday.ph. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Claro Manzano on call for this match. Bodies in the box now. Will Loyola get the stop or will Cebu succeed? With a whistle quickly though, Nick Pineda saw that there was a foul. Semblante, of course, will set this one up slowly but surely. Cebu bringing out his bench again. Loyola, on the other hand, a depleted squad. Loyola has not utilized any substitutions looking back. We've also seen the stop-and-go nature of this game with fouls committed left and right. And also the physicality, we could say for sure. They'll opt to kick it long though. A foot race again, wherein Forasuelo got to get this over Chima Ozoka. And Chima just making sure that Semblante picks it up. So play could resume quickly as Cebu is the team chasing it, or chasing this game. Loyola have looked dangerous also. Some holding here to Pinto. And it was Rio Togashi who was holding on to Pinto. But Togashi is the one who took a fall. Clever from Kurt Dizon. Burnett couldn't get it. Manages to get it back though versus Abu C. Fantastic control here and a great connection from Loyola before it was overplayed. That's why Cebu will reset. And we are seeing Loyola, the team in blue, settle into the block in the midfield. Amirul to Abu C. Header off of Pabone as he got it over to Semblante. He can pick this up because it was headed to him. Taking a fall also here, as there was a player who went up for it. It was Kaito Miland, or a player who went up to Semblante. I'd like to see a replay, of course, to see how that developed. Here was Semblante, and this was Kaito Miland. So what we can say, from our angle at the least, and the benefit of replay, was that he made the most out of that one. Don't you forget again, we have the much anticipated matchup between One Taguig and Kaya FC Iloilo later on. And then on Thursday, Cebu FC will be playing here at the Rizal Memorial for their turn to play in the Philippines in the AFC Champions League 2. Last week it was Kaya FC Iloilo who bagged a 1-1 draw versus Sanfrecce Hiroshima. With Cebu playing right here, it is Kaya who will head overseas to Sydney to play against Sydney FC. As we saw, Takardon just stopped his chase there for the ball, as it was offside, as he also felt. So if Kaya FC Iloilo is heading over to face Sydney FC away, if we talk about Cebu FC, they will be playing against Selangor of Malaysia. That'll be on Thursday again right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. But it's a chance in the middle now. It's a 3-on-3. Papu, but a collision here with Takardon. Takardon, or it took moments for Takardon. It took some time there until the pain really kicked in for Francis Takardon, we could say. Loyola again, short-handed, virtually with no bench. Oh, but Takardon is already in pain from the get-go, as we saw. Thought for a moment there was a delay because of adrenaline playing a factor. And with fouls now, a whopping 16 for Cebu compared to the 7 of Loyola FC. Now with Takardon putting his body in the line, he gets them this free kick. And with the fouls, of course, free kicks have gone the way of Loyola FC. They've managed to claw and fight back as it is 2-all. Just to recap our goals again, Takardon has one. He made it 1-0. Hota made it 1-all. Cebu fought back to make it 1-all and eventually 2-1 thanks to Abu C. As this one was taken by the wall. Shot from distance, sails over the bar here though for Pinto. He has a goal already. He's the man who made it 2-all. This may end, or this can end as a stalemate because this is a league competition. As we have confirmation that Papu Korsami was booked for that one earlier, that harsh challenge versus Takardon. And do note with our upcoming ACL2 games, that will be the last for the calendar year, as both teams, unfortunately, in Kaya and Cebu, will bow out of the contest already after failing to make it to the top 2. But in December, we have the ASEAN Mitsubishi Electric Cup, as we've said. It will be the Philippine men's national team competing. 2 games here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, 2 games abroad or overseas. As this one was cleared over by Morimoto. But here's our roll of the dice now. Dito mula sa Loyola FC. Chemar Andrade will enter as Takardon will call it a day. Andrade will try to give that burst of energy for them. A quality 10 minutes could just spell the difference here. Throw in. We've seen Loyola head forward with attacking chances. Now it will be for Cebu. This one was out. We could see Simplate just telling them he could interpret it as calm down or slow it down. With Cebu being an AFC Champions League 2 team, a draw here for Loyola could be massive. Or it's possible too that expectations were raised because of how Loyola managed to bag some upsets, especially with their previous game over Stallion. But as we said, with the ASEAN Mitsubishi Electric Cup, the Philippines will be opening its tournament here on December 12th versus Myanmar before they travel over to Laos to compete at the Lao National Stadium on December 15. As this one was skied and out, but I believe this is going to be a corner kick, and it is Kainoa Bailey who will whip it in. And just to wrap up the schedule, the Philippines on December 18, the PMNT, or the Philippine Men's National Team, will square off with Vietnam at this venue. That's on December 18, before wrapping up the group stage on December 21, as here comes a header that was stopped by Semblante. What an outing here from Semblante. He's been able to weather that storm. There was a scare earlier as he appeared to be hurt, but is out to at least secure this draw for the higher ranked, or for higher ranked Cebu FC. Ivan Owano did shake off Rio Togashi. That's why here's a chance now for them to get forward slowly but surely. And it's with Pinto, definitely one of the players you'd like to see getting involved. But this was a little loose at first. Vitualia keeps it for them and got a corner kick. And just going back to the ASEAN Mitsubishi Electric Cup, the name of the game there for the national team is to make it to the top two, into the semifinals, the knockout stages. That will rightfully earn the Philippines another home game at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Pavone will slowly take his time here. The time continues to tick. But it's not just about Loyola trying to secure a draw, but they are in this too. Well, Cebu again out also to bag a win. You could make the case again. Is this team in form, or is this team banged up by injuries, as we've said? Norintaro Hama and Reno Gutierrez again for the rest of the calendar year due to injury. As it was headed by Chima Ozoka to June Badelik. Badelik thought about triggering a counter for a moment, eventually does, to the raging Papu Corsame. This one overplayed though by the veteran keeper, as he scratched his head with a bit of that frustration. This one here in the replay came off of Owano, but it led to Chima Ozoka confidently heading it to his goalkeeper. Moments like those, of course, players need a great understanding with their keeper. As this one almost went over to Andrade. You do not want to flirt with danger like that, of course. But here was a tough hit and a straight red card. This one was issued without a doubt. Quite a hit here, and it was from Rio Togashi. You could see the frustration in his eyes. But that hit there warranted his red. Just with that sliding tackle, you could see, was done recklessly. Now what a game right here. We actually did not confirm who is our player down. Well, let's take another look. It's Burnett. No, not Burnett, but it is actually Vitualia. An overly aggressive challenge from Rio Togashi. Do remember that he was subbed into the game. Now the Gentle Giants lose a man. Not so gentle in that last stretch, you could say, as they bag the red. Let's see how they will be able to organize. But with Loyola, momentum shifts to them. And to recall that when play will resume, they will have possession at the back. Loyola playing without Rico Andes. We could speculate that he is potentially injured. He is on the bench again and dressed up for this game. Andes even made his way to the stands during the warm-ups. Let's just recap things again. Francis Tacardon opened the scoring to make it 1-0 for Loyola. And there's Ofti Morimoto assist as Zamorano all-time this time around, or in the latter stages of the first half, was set up by John Lucero to make it 1-1 heading into the dugout. Abusi made the game 2-1 for Cebu. As Kainua Bailey was decked. And don't forget that massive goal from Pinto to make it 2-2. That's how we find ourselves now. We're geared up for the finish. Kajamiru's diagonal ball. It was almost going to go to Lucero off of the defense in Pavone. That slip or fall could be costly when we look at the result of the game. It's a foot race being triggered by Abusi. He'll have to slow down for a bit. He's got Gaito Milan ahead though. But Milan, Semblante was there. A superb showing here from Semblante. With his team being or having to play defense for most of the time. He's been busy. You could argue that a draw here would be massive for Loyola versus an AFC team in Cebu. As Kurt Dizon gets his yellow for his harsh challenge versus Kainua Bailey. Wants the initiative of playing it quickly. But here's a look. Whistle was blown and the foul was given after that collision between Dizon and Bailey. He wanted to play it quick. The referee said to hold your horses. Bailey, he's seen plenty of action also in the international stage again with Cebu. But if this draw or if this scoreline will stick, it will be a draw. We'll assess how the standings will be affected. Cebu will go to 14 points. But teams right below them, there's Kaya, Taguig, and Taguig with 13 each. Stallion with 12. They can just creep up over the Gentle Giants. As Everett Tassi of Cebu staff did say, that loss versus Manila Digger really made an impact on their standing. That's the lone loss of Cebu actually to date. They sit at 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss so far in this campaign. If the scoreline sticks, add a draw to that tally for Loyola. 2 wins, no draws, and 4 losses. There will be a triple tie for 6th place actually, should Loyola bag a draw. We have 8 minutes of additional time as the ball bounces. It was ping pong there, or pinball between Cebu, or between the players of Cebu. Lovely behind the back from Paolo Pavone. Here's Chima, but it came of Abusi. I think when Chima frustrated, as Abusi got in the way, friendly fire. Semblante is down again here as there's a whistle going his way in Loyola's. We just wanted to say earlier with Pavone giving that behind the back. That's how he returned the ball. Well, time will tick here, but you expect the referee to put minutes on top of what is lost here. Even seconds, arguably. Well, here's a look. Let's take a look at the keeper who was floored. Not so sure if it was the landing or the way he swung his arms. He actually got into contact with a Cebu player briefly. Not so sure exactly how he got banged up, or maybe because of recurring injuries and the wear and tear. Let's take a look again. Abu C. This was the goal that actually made it 2-1. Abu C is climbing his way up the top scorer tally. We slept on him in the Golden Boot race because of a slight error. But this was what made it 2-all, courtesy of Anderson Pinto off the woodwork and in here. No doubt that ball went past the line. But definitely no intentions to sleep on Abu C in the Golden Boot race, as he is up in the top 3, we could say. But they'll need to see more from him and the entire Cebu squad if they want to rack up a win. For Loyola, being a lower ranked team, a draw will be massive. But with the way they are playing, this is a case of wanting more, especially with their passionate fan base, as Kainua Bailey looks to unleash himself versus Vitualia. And his shirt was being pulled here when we refer to Bailey. My referee Mick John Pineda saw something else there. Let's take a look. There's also the swinging of the arm, we could say. And we could also see Anderson celebrating that stop of Vitualia like they scored a goal. They've been holding on. They've been also charging on and trying to be dangerous on the attack. As this one was collected. It's by Alemao. Fouls back and forth actually when we look back. Well, Amirul resumed it quickly. Jun Baderic will try to do his part also. Binigay kay Papo Corsame. About 5 minutes remaining till the 8th and final minute of additional time. That foul given up to stop the attack and the build-up. We did say also we'd look at the previous matchup between Cebu and Loyola. But as this header is out, but that matchup does not have any relevance when we look at it, because this is a completely new look Loyola FC. It was a 4-0 win for Cebu last April 6th at the Dynamic Herb Stadium. But the scorers were Abu C and Zamorano Hoatam, who came away with a brace each. But Cebu did get to win a free kick in the midfield. And this new look Loyola squad makes them a little bit easier or difficult to scout. Who would have thought that with fitness being an issue for Loyola early in the season, they managed to ramp up, of course, when it comes to stamina, as they are closing in on a potential draw and are knocking on the door too. You could argue the case for Cebu also, more dangerous in this game. As that aerial duel went the way of Loyola, the clearance ends up with Papo and Andrade. Milland versus Burnett. Lucero taking it off the post though here. Ball still in play. We'll try to recycle. Pavone sent it out desperately. It's a throw in. About 2 minutes remaining until we hit the 8th minute of additional time. This one took a bounce, and Pavone again to the rescue. Great presence of mind from Pavone. He did not have to think there. second nature to him. But now it's a corner kick. The in-swinger now. Semblante couldn't get to it, but it was long. It was slightly safer area. Let's see how Burnett will handle it. Sent it down the line. But there was Amirul who was fouled. He was fouled by Morimoto. It will still stay with Cebu again in white, Loyola in blue. Cebu needs a win to keep up pace with the top four. That could leave them vulnerable if it's less than a win that they bag. As there's a late whistle and a yellow card issued versus Abu C, the team's leading scorer. Referee Mick John Pineda just sorting out the bookings in his record. As we will see Pinto get stretched out for cramps. It's also understandable with Loyola, the less favored team here. A draw might do for them a little more. Interesting here for Osvelo trying to take the free kick at a slightly advanced position. As our referee says, knock it back down there. Anderson playing it long. Confirmation once more on the yellow card of Abu C. Kajamirul collected. Do note again, Cebu is without Daniel Gadia due to suspension. That's also a big loss. But at least it's only for one game, as he may be the main man in the midfield once he returns. Again, Rintaro Hama and Reno Gautier are out for the rest of the calendar year due to injury. But when you see the rest of the calendar year, the PFL will also resume in 2025. And that is some hope if you're Cebu, the fans of Cebu, as those two can potentially recover. And it will be a long throw from Lucero. Loyola's fans driving on the team in blue as Lucero. It was off of two Loyola players. But they get to secure. Corsame was loose. Burnett. Is this going to be a straight red? And given the circumstances, of course. And Burnett was furious. And with that being his second yellow, he is out of here when we refer to Corsame. 2 red cards against Cebu here. Not the most gentle day for the Gentle Giants, but that's all part of the competition. So Cebu lost Papu Corsame and Rio Togashi. He mishandled this, and it was given over to Burnett with that last man challenge. He was floored. Papu got his second yellow. While Pinto was on the sideline, awaiting permission to return. And let's do the math real quick. It is 10v9. As there is eventually the full-time whistle right here. But Anderson Pinto is livid because he wanted permission to get back onto the pitch in hopes of carrying out another attacking chance. But what an effort from Burnett right here. And he is rightfully crowned as man of the match. As things getting heated here, there's Kainwa Bailey and Paulo Pavone, it seems. June Badelic there also. And getting into the mix while trying to play pacifier. Pavone with the yellow, it seems. Yellows being given out, despite of the day or the game being completed. So much for people saying that draws can be anticlimactic. Well, this was a dramatic one here. But it's a recap of our scores again. Similar to how we recap things in the middle of this game or in the midst of the second half. There's Takardon and Pinto who found the back of the net. It was Francis Takardon who made it 1-0 earlier. Pinto actually leveled it. And Zamorano, Hoatam, and Abusi combined a goal each. Abusi, the team's leading scorer, and is in the top 3 in the Golden Boot race. But that was not enough, as both teams desperately looked and searched for another goal. But it's 2-2 here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. And we do have another matchup, don't you forget. Just our first game in our Sunday doubleheader. Up next is One Taguig and Kaya Iloilo. Two teams, of course, with plenty of familiar names. You could definitely say that's a rivalry brewing. One Taguig, a new squad again, but with plenty of veterans in the Philippine football scene. We will eventually sign off from this game with this scoreline again. We did acknowledge our man of the match in Burnett, but we will say goodbye from this game, but not for this evening again, because we do have One Taguig and Kaya Iloilo squaring off, and that does it for this one. Thank you for catching this game on matchday.ph. This is Clara Manzano, your commentator, as we will sign off, and we'll see you in the next game.